Hello friends. So at the end of this chapter, we are going to see the problem set for quadratic equation from textbook. Now actually this problem set has got many examples. Most of the examples we have already solved in different exercises, and I have explained you how to do them. We solved all these previous examples, like we discussed something and then I ask you to solve the example after explaining how to solve them. In problem set 2 also, there are many examples for you to practice. Now I am going to discuss all these examples one by one, but only if the example is complicated or if of the different type, I am going to solve it for you on the board. Otherwise, you have to solve all these examples as a homework. So let us start. The first question is, find the values of A, B, C for the following quadratic equations by comparing with the standard form. It's very easy. They are given some equations. You have to compare them with the standard form, like ax square plus bx plus c equal to 0, and find out the value of a, b and c. They are given nearly 6 quadratic equations. I am just taking one sample. For example, 2x square minus x plus 3, 2x square minus x plus 3 equal to 0. Such 6 examples, very simple examples are given, simple quadratic equations are given. You have to compare them with this and find out the values of a, b and c. So obviously a is 2, b is minus 1 and c is 3. See, we already solved these kinds of things in the exercises. This is just a revision. You can say it's a revision or summarization of this quadratic equations. Let us go ahead and see the question 2. They are asked the form equations from the following examples. The first is the sum of natural number x and its square is 3. The sum of natural number x and its square. Natural number x and its square is 30. Very simple. Second, they are asked the product of two numbers y and y minus 3 is 42. Product of two numbers y and y minus 3 is 42. Third is the sum of natural number x and its reciprocal is 37 by 6. Sum of natural number x and its reciprocal is 37 by 6. The digit at tens place of a 2-digit number. Now here we have two-digit number. Now they ask the digit at a tens place of a 2-digit number is greater than the square of digit of the unit place by 5. So if unit place is a x, then the tens place of the 2-digit number is x square plus 5. And the number form is 61. That means this number is 61. Now what is this number is? 10 into x square plus 5 plus x. When you solve this, you will get a quadratic equation, or let us solve it. So 10x square plus 50 plus x is equal to 61. 10x square plus x minus 11 is equal to 0. It's very simple. We already solved, but just to revise, I am solving it again. Next is, the fifth example is the length of a rectangle. Rectangle, so we have to draw the rectangle. So let us draw a rectangle. They are given the length x of a rectangle is greater than its breadth by 3. So if this is x, this is x minus 3. And they are given the area of rectangle is 70 centimeters. So area of rectangle is x into x minus 3 is equal to 70. So x square minus 3x minus 70 is equal to 0 is your formed quadratic equation. Let's go ahead. Third is determine whether the given values of x is root of given quadratic equation or not. They are given the quadratic equations. There are 6 examples. I am just taking one. They are given the first quadratic equation is x square minus 2x plus 1 equal to 0. They said x equal to 1, and they ask whether the value of x is root of this equation or not. 6 such equations are given and different values of x are given. How will you find out? Substitute x equal to 0 in this quadratic equation. If left hand side satisfies the right hand side, then x is a root. Let us solve this one. X is 1, so 1 minus 2 plus 1. This is the left hand side equal to 0, which is right hand side. So x equal to 1 is a root of this quadratic equation. There are 6 such examples, very simple. You have to solve it as a homework. Fourth one is they ask which of the following equations are quadratic equations. It's very simple. They are given many examples we have already seen. What are the conditions for the quadratic equations? Ax square plus bx plus c is 0 is a quadratic equation if a is not equal to 0 and a, b, c are real numbers. Okay? Why? A should not be equal to 0. If a is 0, then this term will become 0, and then the degree of this equation will not remain 2, and quadratic equation has degree 2. So they might have given the equation in different form, like one example they are given x plus 3 and x minus 4 equal to 0. For all kind of examples, what you have to do, first you have to simplify this and bring it in this form, and then decide if this is a quadratic equation or not. In case of this equation, x square minus 4x plus 3x minus 12 equal to 0. So x square minus x minus 12 equal to 0. Degree is 2. So this is a quadratic equation. There are 8 examples like this. One example I can take n cube minus n plus 4, n cube minus n plus 4 equal to n cube. Now here the degree of equation is not 3, because when n goes to this side, both of these will get cancelled, but still degree of this equation is 1. So this is not a quadratic equation. One of the other interesting example is m minus 5 by m equal to 4m plus 5. How you will solve this? Very simple. We'll try to eliminate this denominator m. How we will do this? Multiply both the sides by m. So here I will get m square minus 5 is equal to 4m square plus 5m. Degree is 2. They will not get cancelled. So this is a quadratic equation. In this case, you even no need to write in the standard form. You can easily judge by this. This is a quadratic equation. Let us go to question number 5. Find the value of discriminant. Now I hope you know what is a discriminant. Discriminant is denoted by delta and is equal to b square minus 4ac. So you might have given different quadratic equations and you have to find out the one equation they are given 2x square plus x plus 1, 2x square plus x plus 1 equal to 0. They might have given the equation in some jumbled form. You have to first rewrite it in the standard form, compare with the standard form, find out the a, b and c. Now here it is 2, 1 and 1. Substitute in this formula and you will get the discriminant. Generally in exam only finding out discriminant is not there. After that you have to determine the nature of the roots, and question may be for 3 marks. Let us see sixth question. Write the following quadratic equation in standard form. We have also seen this. Standard form is ax square plus bx plus c, ax square plus bx plus c equal to 0. This is a standard form and they are given in some jumbled form and you have to rewrite that in the standard form. Let us see one or two. Total 12 sums are there and we are going to see some of the interesting sums. P square plus 5, P square plus 5, this is some sub question number 12, upon 3p square equal to minus 7. First we have to write in this form, this equation. Very simple. Transfer this p square plus 5 equal to minus 21 p square. So we have p square will come this side. So 22 p square, 22 p square plus 0p plus 5 equal to 0 is a standard form of this equation. Then x square minus 7 upon x equal to 7. How you will do this? Multiply both the side by x. So I will get x square minus 7 is equal to 7x. So I will write x square minus 7x minus 7 equal to 0. Now mind well, even if b and c are 0, you have to write that. That means if you have equation like x square plus 1 equal to 0, this is not written in standard form. How you have to write? You have to write x square plus 0x plus 1 equal to 0. Now this is in the standard form. If you have only x square plus x equal to 0, then how you will write? You will write x square plus x plus 0 equal to 0. This is a standard form. So while converting and rewriting all these things, you have to just remember that equation must be written in the standard form. Okay, don't omit any of this term. Let us see one more. Here we have y square equal to 5 minus y square is equal to 5 minus root 7y. I deliberately took this example because many times whenever the root sign comes, the students get confused. Very simple. You don't have to worry at all about whether it's a root or not. Just rewrite in the form. So y square plus root 7y minus 5 equal to 0. This is as simple. Let us go ahead. Seventh question is, find the value of k if x is 4 is the solution of the equation. Equation they are given 3x square plus kx minus 2 plus kx minus 2 equal to 0. Equation is given and they are given that x equal to 4 is the root, is the solution of this equation. X equal to 4 is the solution. How will you find the k? If this is a solution, if you substitute x here, it must satisfy the equation. So very simple, 3 into 16 plus 4k minus 2 equal to 0. So 4k equal to 48 minus 2, 46, minus 46, k equal to minus 46 by 4. Simplify that and you will get the value of k. Now in this case the value of k is 23 by 2 minus 23 by 2. Very simple. Now they can make one variation here, that instead of giving the straightforward equation, they will give in some different form. You have to first bring it into standard form and then substitute x, or you can directly substitute the value of x there, no harm. The 8th question is, find the value of discriminant for each of the following. We have already seen this, but I see one interesting example here which involves the root, so I am solving that. The example is given. Equation is root 3x square plus 2 root 2x minus 2 root 3 equal to 0. We have to find a discriminant of this. We know that discriminant is equal to b square minus 4ac, a, b and c. Let us substitute. So 2 root 2 square minus 4 into root 3 into, mind well, this is minus 2 root 3. So this is 8 minus plus root 3 and root 3 3 plus 24. So this is 24 and 8 is 32. Let us go ahead. Don't worry about these root signs etc. You know the formula, substitute the values and find out the discriminant. 9th example is, solve the following quadratic equations by factorization method. I am not going to take this. There are 9 examples are given. I will just take all the equations are very simple. Only one example I will show you. 9x square minus 16 equal to 0. 9x square minus 16 equal to 0. Now in this case you don't have to factorize and do all those things. You can see that these are the perfect squares. 3x square minus 4 square. So you can directly write this 3x square minus 4 square equal to 0. So this is just like a square minus b square, that is a plus b, a minus b, 3x plus 4, 3x minus 4 equal to 0. So either of the brackets are 0, must be 0. So we have 3x plus 4 equal to 0 or 3x minus 4 equal to 0. Here x equal to minus 4 by 3 and here x equal to 4 by 3. Now in this case this is very simple. You can even do like this. Instead of a square plus b square and those things, you can do something like this. 9x square is equal to 16. I am shifting this 16 this side, taking square root of both the sides, or I will say x square is equal to 16 by 9 and taking square root of both the side, I will say x is equal to plus minus 4 by 3. Simple. Both are okay. That is very short, just 3 steps. This is quite a bit long and you can solve by any of the method. One more interesting example, I can't say interesting example, is 49x square equal to 36. 49x square is equal to 36. Same example of previous. 49 is the square of 7, 36 is the square of 6. You can solve by x square is equal to 36 by 49. So x is equal to plus minus 6 by 7. Just 3 steps. Not a difficult one. We'll go ahead. 10th question is, In each of the examples given below, determine whether the values given against each quadratic equations are the roots of the quadratic equations or not. That means, let us see one example. They are given y square plus 5y plus 6. Y square plus 5y plus 6 equal to 0. And in front of them they are given y equal to 4, minus 2 and minus 3. We have to check if these are the roots of this equation or not. How we will do that? Substitute each value of y every time. Check if left hand side is equal to right hand side. If this value satisfies the equation, then this is the root of this equation. 5 questions are given in this. All are very simple. Some quadratic equations are given in simple form. Some values of x, y or whatever the variable may be are given. You have to just substitute the variable in a quadratic equation and you have to check if that value satisfies this particular equation or not. Okay, shall we go ahead? One more is given. State whether x equal to minus k by 2, this is sum 11, is the root of quadratic equation 2x square plus k minus 6x minus 3k is equal to 0 or not. You have to check x equal to this is the root of this equation or not. How you will do this? Here is k minus 6 and here also they ask for k. Don't get confused by this k and this k. What you have to do? You have to just substitute minus k by 2 for this x square or this x. So we have 2 minus k by 2 square plus k minus 6 into minus k by 2 minus 3k. So this will get k square by 4 and these two will divide. So we will get k square by 2. Here we will get this minus sign will come here. Here we will get k square by 2 minus minus 3k minus 3k and this minus 3k. These two will get cancelled, these two will get cancelled. We have it is 0 equal to right hand side and hence x equal to minus k by 2 is the root of this quadratic equation. I just shown you this example because here you may get confused, this k and this k. You have to nothing to do with this k. Keep it as it is, just replace x and solve the equation. The 12th is determine the nature of the roots of the following equations from their discriminants. Obviously, quadratic equations are given, may be straightforward or in a different form, and you have to find out, first you have to compare with the ax square plus bx plus c, that is standard form, find out the abc, find out the discriminant b square minus 4ac and then compare. If b square minus 4ac if this delta is greater than 0, then the roots are real and unequal. If delta is equal to 0, the roots are real and equal. And if delta is less than 0, the roots are not real. No real roots. So there are in this nearly 6 quadratic equations are given. First you have to write in the standard form, find out ABC, find out the discriminant, and from the answer check with the condition and write your answer. Okay, we'll go ahead. 13 is find m if the quadratic equation m minus 1 x square minus 2m minus 1x minus 2m minus 1x plus 1 equal to 0 has a real and equal roots. Now how you will do this? Now in this case this is A, this is B and C. Mind well, minus sign is there. We have to find a discriminant. Discriminant is b square minus 4ac. But when the roots are real and equal, discriminant is 0. Right? Equal to 0, and this is b square minus 4ac equal to 0. So b square minus 4ac if equal to 0, then the discriminant is 0, means the roots are real and equal. Let us substitute the values. Here we have b square, means this square, minus 2 m minus 1 bracket square, this is the b square, minus 4 into a m minus 1, and c is 1. So no need to write it, equal to 0. First of all, we will take this minus 2 outside the bracket by squaring it. So you have 4 into m minus 1 bracket square minus 4m plus 4 equal to 0. Let us do this now. 4 into m square minus 2m plus 1 minus 4m plus 4 equal to 0. Let us open this. 4m square minus 8m plus 4 minus 4m plus 4 equal to 0. So we have 4m square, now this 8m and 4m minus 12m and plus 8 equal to 0. We can divide by 4, so m square minus 3m plus 2 equal to 0. When you solve this quadratic equation, you will get the value of m. So I'll leave it to you. You have to solve this and find the value of m. The value of m is 1 and 2. Now in this case, if m is equal to 1, what will happen? M minus 1 is 0, and this first term will become 0. If these two values are there, and if you select m is equal to 1, in that case m minus 1 will become 0. M minus 1 is 0, and then this equation will not remain a quadratic equation. So we have to consider this value and not this. So the answer is m is equal to 2. Let us see another example. Example number 14. It asks that find the value of c if the quadratic equation x square minus 2 c plus 1 x plus c square is equal to 0. They are given that this quadratic equation has real and equal roots. What do you mean by real and equal roots? That means delta, that is b square minus 4ac, must be equal to 0. Now here we have a is 1, b is minus 2 c plus 1, and c is c square. Substitute this value, equate with 0, and you will find the value of c. Now mind well, don't get confused between this c and these c's. Okay, these are variables. This is also variable, but this c means the last term. Okay, so don't get confused. If you solve this, you will get the value of c. The value of c is minus 1 by 2. Solve this equation and you will get the value of C minus 1 by 2. Let's go ahead and solve the next example. Example 15. It states that if one of the root of the quadratic equation x square minus 10x plus 2k is, this is the quadratic equation and they are given the one root is 5 minus root 3 and we have to find out the value of k. Now this is the irrational number and we know that when one of the root is this, the other root must be 5 plus root 3. So by our general method you can find out a is 1, b is minus 10 and c is 2k. So you can find alpha beta or alpha plus beta. We know their formulas, minus b upon a, c upon a, and while solving for the alpha beta you will get the value of k. Okay, now pause your video here, solve this example and you will get the value of k. Do it now. The value of k is 11. If you solve this you will get the value of k 11. We will move to example number 16. I have been telling you again and again that I am not going to solve each and every problem because all these problems we have already solved and you have to practice these problems. Okay, so we are going to discuss the problems. If any problem is difficult, then I will solve it for you. Otherwise, for simple problems, you have to solve by your own and you have to check the answers. Okay, let us move ahead to example number 16. In this it says that if one of the root of quadratic equation, they are given the quadratic equation x square plus 6x plus k equal to 0. X square plus 6x plus k equal to 0. They say that one of the root is h, that is alpha, is h plus 2 root 6. This is given, alpha is h plus 2 root 6 and we have to find the value of h and k both. Now you know that if one root is, h plus 2 root 6, then beta must be equal to h minus 2 root 6. This is very easy to find out. You can find out alpha beta, alpha plus beta, and by substituting the values, you know that minus b upon a, c upon a. Okay, and then by substituting these values you will get the value of h and k both. Pause your video and solve this example. The answer to this is h is equal to minus 3 and k is equal to minus 15. Check your answers here. Okay, we'll move ahead to next example. Example 17. If alpha and beta are the roots of the quadratic equation ax square plus bx plus c equal to 0. Of course, this is the standard form of quadratic equation and alpha and beta are the roots of this quadratic equation. Find the value of alpha upon beta and beta upon alpha. Find alpha upon beta plus beta upon alpha. Very easy. For this, cross multiply and you will get alpha square plus beta square upon alpha beta. You can find out the value of alpha beta or alpha plus beta and alpha beta by the formula you know. By substituting the values here, you can find out the values, because here you have got alpha square plus beta square But you don't know alpha plus square plus beta square. You know only alpha plus beta. Then how you can do that? See this. When you take alpha plus beta bracket square, which is equal to alpha square plus 2 alpha beta plus beta square. You know this minus b upon a. You know this alpha beta is c upon a. Only alpha square plus beta square is unknown. So if you take everything here, this side, you will get the value of alpha square plus beta square. Shall I solve it for you? Let us do it. Alpha plus beta is minus b upon a. Shall we do it very clean? Alpha plus beta minus b upon a, and alpha beta is equal to c upon a. Okay. Now when I solve alpha plus beta bracket square, I get alpha square plus beta square plus 2 alpha beta. What is alpha plus beta? Is minus b upon a, and we have to square that. That means we will get b square upon a square is equal to alpha square plus beta square plus 2 into c upon a. So 2c upon a. So alpha square plus beta square, we have b square upon a square minus 2c upon a. When you further solve it, a square is LCM, b square minus 2ac. Right? Now, you know this value. You know this value. You can find out this. And so, alpha upon beta plus beta upon alpha, you can find out. Just solve it further, resubstitute the values and solve it further, we'll get the answer. The answer for this is b square minus ac upon ac. Examples are very simple. We already know alpha plus beta, alpha beta. Then if you want to find out some identities, and if these things comes in between, then you have to use the formulas of alpha plus beta square. If you have alpha cube plus beta cube, then also we know how to do it. We have already seen the formulas for that. So we'll move ahead to the example number 18. So please open your books. We'll solve example 18. There are 12 examples in this. All of the factorization examples, I'm not going to solve them. You have to solve them. Let us see them one by one. In example 18, the first is 4y square plus 4y plus 1. 4y square plus 4y plus 1 equal to 0. You have to find out the solution. You need to find a solution. Stop your video here and solve this example. The answer is y is equal to minus 1 upon 2. Only one value of y. Okay. Next. Second is y square plus 2 root 3y minus 9 equal to 0. Don't get confused by this root sign. I have observed that many students get confused unnecessarily by this root sign. Okay, we have seen such examples, so don't get confused by this. Examples are very easy. Okay, solve it quickly. The answer is root 3 and minus 3 root 3. Check your answer please. Next, third example is again very simple. 3x square plus 10 equal to 11x. 3x square plus 10 equal to 11x. Very simple. Just take this 11x to that side, equate with 0, factorize it, and you will get the answer. Solve it quickly. Answer for this is 2 and 5 root 3. The answer for this is 2 and 5 by 3. Check your answer. Shall we move ahead? The fourth sum is 1 upon 9x square minus 2 by 3x plus 1 minus 2 by 3x plus 1 equal to 0. First of all, you have to simplify this. What you will do to simplify this? Simple. Multiply the whole equation by 9. So here you will get x square, here you will get 6x plus 9 equal to 0. Solve this quickly. The answer for this is 3. Check your answer please. 3 is the root of this quadratic equation. Okay. Fifth one, 2y square plus 3, 2y plus 3 bracket square equal to 81. How you will solve this? Many students solve this. They first open this bracket, expand the bracket. पण असं करायची गरजच नाही आहे इकडे. का? कारण 81 हा सुद्धा कंप्लीट स्क्वेअर आहे. स्क्वेअर ऑफ प्लस मायनस 9 is 81 and this is also square. So first we will take the square root of both the sides. So you will get 2y plus 3 equal to plus minus 9. And now you will get the answer. Solve this. The answer is minus 6 and 3. Now, one warning. If you get this example in exam and they ask you to solve this example, you can solve by this method. But in this case, initially they have said that solve this quadratic equation by factorization method, and this is not a factorization method. By this method you will get the answer very quickly. But for factorization method, if they specify that you have to solve this example by factorization method, then you have to do it first by opening the bracket and then factorizing it and do it. How you will do that? 4y square plus 12y plus 9 equal to 81. Take that 81 that side and solve it. Okay? Do it by both the ways, your answer will be same. You can do this by one more type, by one more way, because here you can see that if you take this 81 to this side, what will happen? Again that number into 4, that means you have to factorize a big number, which is not advisable. Why to do that? Which is another method, one more method. Just take that 81 that side, that is 2y plus 3 bracket square minus 81 equal to 0, right? That is 2y plus 3 square minus 9 square equal to 0. This is just like a square minus b square. So we have 2y plus 3 minus 9 and 2y plus 3 plus 9 equal to 0. Equate this, equate each bracket with 0 and you will get the answer. So we have seen that this one single example we have solved by 3 types, by 3 different ways. Mind well, in your exam first check if they are asked to solve the particular example by particular method. If they are not specified, you can solve by any method. But if they are specified that solve this by factorization method, in this case, जर तुम्ही त्या मेथडनी सॉल्व केलं नाही तर डेफिनेटली तुमचं उत्तर कितीही बरोबर असेल तरी तुमचे मार्क गेले स्ट्रेट. म्हणून मी तुम्हाला मुद्दामून आधी एक नॉर्मल मेथड दाखवली. कदाचित तुमच्या लक्षात आलं की नाही हे तुमचं तुम्ही बघा की आपल्याला फॅक्टरायझेशन मेथड वापरायची आहे. ओके, लेट्स गो अहेड. सिक्स्थ is 8x square minus 22x. 8x square minus 22x minus 21 equal to 0. I am not going to solve this. Just pause your video and solve this. Answer is 7 by 2 and minus 3 by 4. Check your answer. We'll go ahead. Seventh example, 9y square minus 3y minus 2. 9y square minus 3y minus 2 equal to 0. I am not even going to tell you the answer to this problem. It's very simple problem. Okay, just solve it. What can be the answer? Obviously 2 by 3 minus 1 by 3 is the answer to this problem. We'll go ahead. Example number 8. 5z square minus 3z minus 2. 5z square minus 3z minus 2 equal to 0. Solve it. Answer is 1 minus 2 by 5. Very simple examples. Such kind of examples come for your exam. Next one. Ninth. 1 upon x plus 2 plus 1 upon x plus 2 equal to 1 upon x square. How you will do this? Very simple example. Just take this x square there, x plus 2 this side, transform, and you will get a simple quadratic equation. And by solving this, you will get the roots are 2 and minus 1. Solve it quickly and check if you get this answer. Okay, we will go ahead. Example 10. We have 5t square minus 17 by 2t plus 3 by 2 equal to 0. Very simple. First you will multiply both the sides by 2. So here you will get 10t square minus 17t plus 3 equal to 0. Solve this. Pause your video. Solve this. Answer is 3 by 2 and 1 upon 5. Check your answer please. Let us go ahead. Eleven. 9x square plus 8 equal to 22x. 9x square plus 8 equal to 22x. Very easy. Take this 22x to that side, which will become minus 22x. So it will become 9x square minus 22x plus 8 equal to 0. Pause your video and quickly solve this problem. The roots of this example are 2 and 4 upon 9. Check your answer. We'll go ahead. The last problem of 18 is 6y square plus 17y, 6y square plus 17y plus 12 equal to 0. How you solve this example? Very simple. Factorize this. We have done this example many times, such kind of examples. Pause your video here and solve this example. Answer is minus 3 by 2 and minus 4 upon 3. Please check your answer. Very simple example. Okay. Let's go ahead. 19. Solve the following quadratic equations by completing square. By completing square, how you will do that? You will have to first find the third term. What is the third term? What is the formula? Third term is equal to 1/2 coefficient of x bracket square. I am going to solve only this one example just to quickly remind you. Okay. So this is the equation. We have to find out the third term. So what we will do? X square plus 3x equal to minus 1. Now we have to find a third term. What is the third term? Half coefficient of x, that is 3. That is 3 by 2. And square of that 9 by 4. We'll add this to both the sides. Right? And now your quadratic equation, just simplify this and you will get the quadratic equation. And then solve it and you will find a value of x. There are 8 examples, there are 9 examples in question number 19. All these simple examples. You have to find out the third term or you have to find out the quadratic equation by completing the square method. We have already solved the exercise on this. These are the extra examples. Solve these examples quickly and check your answers. We'll move ahead to sum number 20. Obviously, the 20 is solve the following quadratic equations using formula. And there are again 9 examples. I will quickly remind you. What is our formula? X is equal to minus b plus minus b square minus 4ac upon 2a. So first of all you have to write the given equation in general form, find the value of a, b and c, substitute here and you will get the roots. There are 9 examples in 20. I am not going to solve those examples because the examples are very simple. You solve this example and check your answers. We will move ahead to 21. You can guess what can be the 21. It is form the quadratic equation whose roots are, the 2 roots are given and you have to form the quadratic equation. Now when the 2 roots are given, that is alpha and beta are given, what is the quadratic equation when the 2 roots are given? When 2 roots are given, quadratic equation is x square minus alpha plus beta x plus alpha beta equal to 0. There are again 6 examples of this type. Let us solve the first one. The roots given are 3 and 10. Roots given are 3 and 10. That is so alpha is 3, beta is 10. So what is alpha plus beta? 13. What is alpha beta? Is 30. So our equation we have x square minus 13x plus 30 equal to 0. Similarly, you will be given the different values of alpha and beta. Sometime maybe the alpha and beta, the roots are having root sign. Don't hesitate. Just find out alpha plus beta, alpha beta, and you will get the value of, or you will get the quadratic equation. So in 21 there are 6 examples which you will solve by yourself and check your answers at the back of the book. Okay, we will go ahead. Example 22. Form the quadratic equation whose one of the root is given. You know, when they give only one root, it is generally irrational number, right? So let us solve only first example. If one of the root is given is 1 minus 3 root 5, that means alpha is given. We know that when alpha is 1 minus 3 root 5, the second must be its conjugate, that is 1 plus 3 root 5. Now we have to find the quadratic equation, or we have to form the quadratic equation. How we will go for this? Here alpha plus beta is equal to 1 minus alpha plus beta is 1 minus 3 root 5 plus 1 plus 3 root 5. Now 3 root 5 and 3 root 5 will get cancelled, and alpha plus beta is equal to 2, and alpha beta is equal to 1 minus 3 root 5 into 1 plus 3 root 5, just like a square minus b square. Okay, so it is 1 minus 45, which is equal to minus 44. So what will be the quadratic equation? X square minus alpha plus beta x plus alpha beta is equal to 0. So we have x square, alpha plus beta is 2, so minus 2x minus 44 equal to 0. This is how we solve the example. There are 6 examples of this type. We have already solved a complete exercise on this method. Okay, now this is a homework for you. You have to solve all these 6 examples of question 22 and find or check the answers from back of the book. Okay, we will go ahead. 23. If alpha and beta are the roots of quadratic equation, if alpha and beta are the roots of equation 4x square minus 5x plus 2, equal to 0. Find the equation whose roots are, you are given one equation, okay, and then they say that alpha and beta are the roots of this equation. Then they are asked 4 questions. Find the roots, find the equation whose roots are alpha plus 3 beta, 3 alpha plus beta. The first one is alpha plus 3 beta and 3 alpha plus beta, and such more 3 are there. How will you solve this? If you have the given quadratic equation this, and they say that the roots are alpha and beta, first of all, a is equal to, before going to this 4, we have to first make the preparation, like a is equal to 4, b is equal to minus 5, and c is equal to 2. So alpha plus beta is equal to minus b upon a, that is 5 by 4. Alpha beta is equal to c upon a, that is equal to 2 upon 4, that is 1 by 2. So this is the equation. Alpha and beta are the roots of this equation. So we have found out alpha plus beta and alpha beta. Now we'll go to questions. This preparation we have done. Now we have to find out the equations. First equation whose roots are this. Very simple. We have to find out the alpha plus beta and alpha beta for each of this. For this, alpha plus beta is equal to alpha plus 3 beta plus 3 alpha plus beta, that is equal to 4 alpha plus 4 beta is equal to 4 alpha plus beta, and we know alpha plus beta is 5 by 4. So 4 into 5 by 4, you have 5, and alpha beta is equal to alpha plus 3 beta, 3 alpha plus beta. So we have 3 alpha square, 3 alpha square plus alpha beta plus 9 alpha beta plus 3 beta square. So we have 3 alpha square plus 10 alpha beta plus 3 beta square. After this, we don't know what is the value of alpha square plus beta square, though the 3 is common. So what we can do here, I will solve this example this side. I will rearrange the term, that is 3 alpha square plus this 10 beta square. I will split that, this 10 alpha beta I will split into 6 alpha beta plus 4 alpha beta, that is 6 alpha beta. Then I will take that 3 beta square plus 4 alpha beta. We know that here 3 is common, alpha square plus 2 alpha beta plus beta square plus 4 alpha beta. Now we know that this is the complete square of alpha plus beta bracket square plus 4 alpha beta. We know that alpha plus beta is 5 by 4. So 3 into 5 by 4 bracket square plus 4 into 1 upon 2. So here we will get 75 upon 16 plus 2. Solve this further, you will get one value. Here you have got the value 5. Substitute in the equation x square minus alpha plus beta x plus alpha beta equal to 0, and you will get the value, or you will get the quadratic equation. Let us do that. I am just writing the value of alpha plus beta, what we get, equal to 5. By solving this, what you will get? 75 plus 32 upon 16, that is 107 upon 16. So let us substitute this value in x square minus alpha plus beta x plus alpha beta is equal to 0. This is the required quadratic equation. In this formula, we have to substitute a value of alpha plus beta, which is 5, alpha beta, which is 107 by 16. So we have the equation x square minus 5x plus 107 by 16 equal to 0. We can multiply both the side by 16. So you have, even this is right, but it is better if you simplify it further. 16x square minus 80x plus 107 is equal to 0. This is the required equation. We will see the second problem of this. Mind well, this is same, this is common, okay. Let us write these values here. Alpha plus beta is equal to 5 by 4 and alpha beta is equal to 1 by 2. The second is, one root is alpha upon beta and another root is beta upon alpha. So in this case, we have to first find out addition of the roots and then multiplication of the roots, okay. So we have alpha upon beta plus beta upon alpha, and we have to find alpha upon beta into beta upon alpha. This is very easy. Alpha square plus beta square upon alpha beta, and here we have 1. multiplication is 1. What is the addition? For this we can go for alpha plus beta bracket square minus 2 alpha beta upon alpha beta, and that we have alpha plus beta, we have 5 by 4 bracket square minus 2 into 1 by 2 upon 1 by 2. We have 25 by 16 minus 1 upon 1 by 2. We'll solve it here. So 25 by 16 minus 1 into 2. So we have 25 minus 16 upon 16 into 2. So we have 9 upon 16 into 2. So we have 9 upon 8. And alpha multiplication we have 1. Now we'll substitute this in the formula, that is x square minus alpha plus beta x plus alpha beta equal to 0. So here we have alpha plus beta, addition of the roots we get 9 by 8. So minus 9 upon 8x plus 1 equal to 0. We will simplify it further, multiply by 8. So it is 8x square minus 9x plus 8 equal to 0 is the required equation. Very easy. Two roots are given. You have to just find the addition and multiplication, substitute the values from here, and you will get the required quadratic equation. We'll see the third one in this. Third one is, the roots are alpha square upon beta, beta square upon alpha, alpha square upon beta, and beta square upon alpha. These are the roots. We have to find the addition and multiplication both. So what is the addition? Is alpha square upon beta plus beta square upon alpha, that is alpha cube plus beta cube upon alpha beta. You know how to find the alpha cube plus beta cube. We know how to find out this. It is alpha plus beta bracket cube minus 3 alpha beta into alpha plus beta. This is the formula we have seen last time. You have to substitute in that upon alpha beta, of course. So we will get alpha plus beta 5 by 4 cube minus 3 into alpha beta is 1 upon 2, and alpha plus beta upon again 5 by 4 divided by alpha beta is 1 upon 2. Pause your video here and solve this. This is simple arithmetics. Okay, just solve it. I'll give you the direct answer. The answer is 5 by 32, and multiplication is alpha square upon beta into beta square upon alpha, that is equal to alpha will get cancelled, 1 beta will get cancelled, alpha beta, and we know alpha beta is 1/2. So when we substitute this in the x square alpha plus beta x plus alpha beta equal to 0, we will get x square, addition is 5 by 32 minus 5 by 32x plus 1 upon 2 equal to 0. You have to just multiply whole equation by 32 and we'll get 32x square minus 5x plus 16 equal to 0. This is the required quadratic equation. Let us solve one more, that is fourth one. So in 23(4) they are given the roots alpha plus 1 upon alpha and beta plus 1 upon beta. So first we will find addition, alpha plus 1 upon alpha plus beta plus 1 upon beta. Just rearrange the terms, alpha plus beta here plus 1 upon alpha plus 1 upon beta. So we will get alpha plus beta plus cross multiplication beta plus alpha upon alpha beta. We know all these values, 5 by 4 plus 5 by 4 upon 1 by 2, that is 2 into 5 by 4. So we will get 5 by 4 plus 5 by 2. So here we will just cross multiply 10 plus 20 upon 8. That is 30 by 8 equal to 15 upon 4. This is the addition. Similarly, you have to find out the multiplication, that is alpha plus 1 upon alpha and beta plus 1 upon beta. How you will solve this? Just first term is alpha beta plus alpha upon beta plus beta upon alpha plus 1 upon alpha beta. Very simple. We will have alpha beta plus, now this bracket will solve, plus alpha beta. This will have alpha square plus beta square into alpha beta. And if you know that how to find out that alpha beta, here go on substituting the values, alpha beta plus alpha plus beta bracket square minus 2 alpha beta, alpha plus beta bracket square minus 2 alpha beta upon alpha beta plus 1 upon alpha beta. Substitute all these values, alpha plus beta and alpha beta. Just simple arithmetical calculation. Stop your video or pause your video here and solve this to find out the value of multiplication quickly. The answer for this is 29 upon 8. So addition we have 15 by 4, multiplication we have 29 by 8. When you substitute in x square minus alpha plus beta x plus alpha beta equal to 0, you will get the required quadratic equation. So we should move ahead to example number 24 now. We will go to question number 24. It states that if the difference, now this is the word problem, okay, as and when you are goes on reading this, you should write the equations or whatever the given is, okay. Is 24 is, if the difference of the roots of the quadratic equation is 3, difference of the root of the quadratic equation is 3, write down immediately alpha minus beta is equal to 3, and the difference between their cubes, that is alpha cube minus beta cube is equal to 189. Find a quadratic equation. For solving this, you know alpha minus beta, alpha cube minus beta cube. We have solved this kind of examples. You have to just remember one formula for this, that is alpha cube minus beta cube is equal to alpha minus beta cube minus 3 alpha beta alpha minus beta. This you should know. From this, alpha minus beta is known, alpha cube minus beta cube is known, only alpha beta is unknown. So you will get the value of alpha beta here. From this you will get the value of alpha plus beta, and substituting this into the equation, x square minus alpha plus beta plus alpha beta is equal to 0, you will get the required quadratic equation. Now pause your video here and solve this. Now you must have find out the alpha beta 18, okay, but you must have stuck here alpha plus beta, because there is no direct way by which you can find out the value of alpha plus beta. We only know alpha minus beta, alpha cube minus beta cube. You know alpha beta. How will you find the value of alpha beta, alpha plus beta? It is very simple. You have to apply one of our formula, that is, if you have alpha plus beta square, then it will be alpha minus beta square plus 4 alpha beta. If you remember this formula, we have already seen such examples. If not, write down this formula in your notebook. Now only alpha plus beta is unknown. You know alpha minus beta, you know alpha beta. Quickly find out the value of alpha plus beta. Pause your video, do it now. Alpha plus beta is plus minus 9. Now you have alpha beta, you have alpha plus beta, and substituting these values in x square minus alpha plus beta x plus alpha beta is equal to 0, you will get the required quadratic equation. We'll move ahead. Let us go problem number 25. If alpha plus beta is equal to 5 and they are given alpha cube plus beta cube is equal to 35. Find a quadratic equation whose roots are alpha and beta. Very easy. We have already done such problems. We have alpha plus beta, we have alpha cube plus beta cube, but to form a quadratic equation we will need alpha beta, which we don't have. So how should we proceed? To proceed, we have to make use of this to find out the value of alpha beta. So alpha cube plus beta cube is equal to alpha plus beta cube minus 3 alpha beta alpha plus beta. If you remember this formula, when you substitute the value of alpha plus beta and alpha cube plus beta cube, you will see that only alpha beta is unknown. So simply substitute the values of alpha plus beta and alpha cube plus beta cube in this equation, and you will find the value of alpha beta. Now once you have the value of alpha beta and alpha plus beta, you know how to form a quadratic equation. X square minus alpha plus beta x plus alpha beta equal to 0. So you will get the equation. Just pause your video and solve this. The equation final answer is x square minus 5x plus 6 equal to 0. Please check your answer. Answer is x square minus 5x plus 6 equal to 0. Let us move ahead. Problem number 26 is again a word problem. It says that if the difference of the roots of the quadratic equation is 4, we have already solved this problem or such kind of problem. The difference of the root is 4, that means alpha minus beta is equal to 4. And then they say that the difference of their cubes is 208. Difference of their cubes is 208. You have to find alpha plus beta and alpha beta. We have already solved this problem in problem number 24, so I will not repeat this problem. Find out the solution, pause your video now and find a solution of this. The answer you get is x square plus minus 8x plus 12 equal to 0. Check your answer with this, x square plus minus 8x plus 12 equal to 0. We'll go ahead. Problem number 27. They are given the standard quadratic equation, that is ax square plus bx plus c equal to 0. Then they say if one root of this quadratic equation is ax square plus bx plus c equal to 0. If one root of the quadratic equation is square of the other, let us find out. If alpha square one root is alpha, the another root is alpha square. Now we have to find out the sum of the roots, that is alpha plus alpha, this is the addition, plus alpha square, and multiplication is alpha cube. We have to find out that, or we have to show that b cube plus 2a square, b cube plus a square c plus ac square is equal to 3abc. We know that this is minus b upon a and this is c upon a. Now how should we proceed? If we want to prove this, here all the cubes are there. What we will do, of this addition we will do the cube. Alpha plus alpha square, we will make cube of this, which is equal to minus b upon a cube. I got this from here. As a solution we get alpha cube plus alpha raised to 6 plus 3 alpha into alpha square alpha plus alpha square is equal to minus b cube upon a cube. Now we have to just substitute these values. We know that alpha cube is c upon a plus alpha raised to 6 means square of this, c square upon a square plus 3 into alpha cube, that is 3c upon a, and we have alpha plus alpha square minus b upon a is equal to minus b cube and a cube. Now you have to just multiply this whole equation by a cube so that this denominator a will get eliminated. If we multiply by a cube, we will get ca square plus c square a plus, or this minus sign will come out. This is a square, so in the numerator we will get a, so minus 3abc is equal to minus b cube. You just rearrange the term and you will get the answer. Let us take this minus b cube this side, so we have b cube plus a square c plus ac square equal to 3abc. This is the final answer, or you can say that proved. It is proved. Again, what we did, this was the equation given. We have been told that one root of this quadratic equation is square of the others. So the two roots are alpha and alpha square, isn't it? So addition is this, multiplication is this. But we have to prove this. And here cube is there. So what we will do, we will make cube of this addition. Here we will solve this, substitute the values of this in this equation. We will substitute these two values, addition and multiplication, and finally we get this answer, and whatever they are asked is proved. Okay, let us go to next example. Example number 28. If the sum of the roots of quadratic equation, they are given one quadratic equation 1 upon x plus p plus 1 upon x plus q is equal to 1 upon r. They said that sum of the roots is equal to 0. We have to show that the product of the root is p minus p square plus q square by 2 minus p square plus q square upon 2. Now first of all, this is the given quadratic equation. At this moment it is not looking like a quadratic equation. So first we have to simplify this and bring it into the general form or standard form. How to do that? Cross multiplication. So we have x plus q, x plus p upon x plus p into x plus q equal to 1 upon r. This is the first step. Here is the plus sign. Let us open this bracket and move this to right hand side. So we have 2x plus p plus q is equal to 1 upon r into x square plus px plus qx plus pq. So we have r into 2x p plus q is equal to x square plus, here we can take x common, isn't it? So I can say x p plus q plus pq. Let's solve further. So 2rx plus pr plus qr is equal to x square plus x p plus q plus pq. Now if you can rearrange the term, like taking everything on the left hand side equate to 0 and coefficient of x square, then that means we have to write in the standard form like x square plus ax plus b equal to 0. We have to write first this equation in the standard form. Okay, and then okay, just do one thing, solve this further and bring it into the general form. Pause your video here and do it. By solving this further, finally you will get this. Okay, so this is the quadratic equation, and they said that the sum is 0, but we know that sum means this and product is this, and we know that the sum is minus b upon a is equal to p plus q minus 2r, and the product C upon A is equal to PQ minus R P plus Q. As we know, in the standard form of quadratic equation is like this, because this is alpha plus beta and this is alpha beta. We already know alpha plus beta is this, and we already know alpha beta is this. So from this we know sum of the root is 0, so this is equal to 0. So if you equate this to 0, we will get the value of 2r is equal to p plus q, so r is equal to p plus q upon 2, right? And this is the product of the root. So we will take this further and fill the value of r here. We have to find out the product of the root. We have to show that the product of the root equal to this. So we will substitute r equal to this in this equation and we will get that value. Let us do it. So here, instead of c upon a, I will write the product of the root which has been asked. PQ minus P plus Q upon 2 into P plus Q. This is the product. So we will get, suppose 2 is an LCM, then we will have 2PQ minus P plus Q bracket square. We'll get it here. From this equation, do you remember this? We have minus p square, minus q square and minus 2pq. This 2pq will get cancelled and ultimately we will get minus p square minus q square upon 2. Minus sign is common. So from here I am coming here, minus p square plus q square upon 2. It is proved. Let us see this example again. Let us try to understand and solve it again. They are given one quadratic equation and they said that the sum of the roots is 0 and we have to show that product of the root is this. This is not in the standard form. Okay, we know that if we bring it in the standard form, in this form, we know what is the sum of the roots, what is the product of the root. So first we'll simplify this equation to here. Now this is our quadratic equation in simplified form, right? if you compare this with x square alpha plus beta x plus alpha beta equal to 0, we'll find that sum is this, product is that. Fine. We also know that product is this. We have to find out the product. We know that this is the product. We have started with this product by, as the sum is given 0, we have equated this with 0, and from this we have found out the value of r. The value of r is this, right? This value of r, now we have to prove the product. So this is the product. In this product we will substitute this value of r. So we have got the equation pq minus r substituted and p plus q. Now we will solve this further. We got this pq will remain here. Now upon 2, so I have taken as LCM. So 2pq, or you can do cross multiplication, 2pq minus p plus q into p plus q, that is p plus q bracket square. Here we get. Now if you open this bracket, that is p plus q bracket square is p square plus 2pq plus q square. Since the minus sign is here outside, we will get minus p square minus q square. We also get minus 2pq, which will get cancelled with this term, and ultimately we will get minus 2p square minus q square upon 2, which we get minus plus q square upon 2. This is let us go to the next problem. There are 10 examples in problem number 29. Now in all these examples, quadratic equation is given which is not currently in the quadratic form. We have to reduce it to the quadratic form, or we have to transform it to the quadratic form, and then we have to solve that equation. We'll see quickly those equations. I'm not going to solve all these equations because we have already done one complete exercise on this. If any special example is there, we'll solve it completely. So 29 first is x raised to 4 minus 29x square plus 100 equal to 0. You know how to solve this. First you have to substitute m is equal to x square. X square, you will get another quadratic equation in m. Solve and find the value of m. You will get two values because that is a quadratic equation. Substitute here and you will get the value of x. You will get the roots 4 values. Let us quickly see the examples. I am not going to solve. Second, in this similar 7y raised to 4 minus 25 y square plus 12 equal to 0. Similar to this, substitute m is equal to y square and solve this example. Check your answer at the back side of the book. I hope the book is open with you and you are solving all these examples along with me. Whenever I say that pause the video and solve this, you have to pause the video and solve this and finally check the answer with me. Okay? Let's see the third one. 6m square plus 2 by m square equal to 7. Very simple. M square is in the denominator. First you have to cross multiply. That means you will get 6m raised to 4 plus 2 is equal to 7m square. So degree 4. Now you have to substitute m square is equal to a. Find a solution of a, substitute in this and you will get the answer. We have already solved such kind of examples. Let us see the fourth one. What you will do here? Can we see some common term? p square plus p is common. So we will substitute m equal to p square plus p. Once you substitute here, you will get, here you will get m, here you will get m minus 3, and final or the second quadratic equation what you get is m square minus 3. Find out the value of m, two values you will get, substitute here and you will get the value for p. Let us see fifth one. Fifth one is 3 x square plus 1 upon x square minus 4 x minus 1 upon x minus 6 equal to 0. Yes, you have to substitute this for m or a something. But here we have got x square plus 1 upon x square. How we will reduce it, or how we will substitute in the form of this? X square plus 1 upon x square is equal to 1 is equal to, so x minus 1 upon x bracket square plus 2. First, replace this term with this, and after that substitute x minus 1 upon x equal to a. We have solved these kind of examples, so solve it quickly, you will get an answer. Example 6 is similar kind. 9 x square plus 1 upon x square minus 3 x minus 1 upon x minus 20 equal to 0. Similar kind of example, I don't need to even discuss this. Let us go ahead. If you can't factorize this, whatever the quadratic equations you will get, you can solve by any method of the quadratic equations. Not required that every time you have to factorize it. You can solve by factorization method, you can solve by completing the square method, whichever method you feel easy, you can solve that particular intermediate quadratic equation. Let us see the seventh one. Seventh one is also similar. That is x square plus 1 upon x square is there, and x minus 1 upon x is there. So no need to even check this. Eighth one is, in eighth example, it is 12 x square plus 1 upon x square minus 56 x plus 1 upon x plus 89 equal to 0. The only we had x minus 1 upon x, now we have x plus 1 upon x. X square plus 1 upon x square. This will be x 1 upon x bracket square and minus. The rest is same. We will go to next example. Let us take 9th example. It is y square plus 5y into y square plus 5y minus 2 minus 24 equal to 0. Now this question was asked for the 4 marks in October 2012 exam. Very simple. We can see that common, substitute y square plus 5y equal to m you will get one quadratic equation. You have to of course solve these brackets, m into m minus 2. So m square minus 2m minus 24 equal to 0. You will get two values of m. You substitute here y square plus 5y equal to m, and you will get the values of y. Pause your video here and solve this example. Check your answer at the back of the book. The last example of 29 is 2 y square minus 6y bracket square minus 8 y square minus 6y plus 3 minus 40 equal to 0. Again, similar kind of example. I think I even don't need to even discuss this example. Just be sure that 2 is here, 8 is here, 40 is here, all multiples of 2. So we can divide this equation by 2 first. So these 2 will go, 4 will come here, 20 will come here. Now y square minus 4y is m. So you will get, first you will get the value of m. Resubstitute here, you will get another quadratic equation, and then you will get the value of y. 4 values you will get. So these were the 10 examples of question 29 of problem set 2. Now I think we are starting with the word problems of question set 2. Okay? In 30 there are 22 word problems. Most of the word problems are very easy. I already told you how to solve them. Let us see them one by one. Okay? So question number 30, all word problems are there. The first is 3 consecutive or natural numbers. Stop here. 3 consecutive or natural numbers. First write the natural numbers. Odd means if the first number is x, second number is x plus 2, then x plus 4, x plus 6, something like that. But for simplicity, if they are not specified anything, they are just asked that the 3 consecutive odd natural numbers, then what we'll do? X is there, we will take x plus 2 is the next number, and we will take previous number, that is x minus 2. Whenever the 3 consecutive odd natural numbers or even numbers are there, you should write them like this. Then they say are such that the product of the first and third, that is x minus 2 into x plus 2 is equal to greater than 4 times the middle by 1. Greater than 4 times the middle and 1. Solve this, you will get the value of x. Of course, we have to find numbers. Pause your video here, find the value of x. X equal to, you will get 5 and minus 1. Of course, minus 1 is not a natural number, so x equal to 5. So the numbers are 5, 7 and 3. X, x minus 2, x plus 2. Next one. Remember one thing, whenever there are word problems, just check if any units are there or not. If the problem involves some rupees, kilometers or centimeters or liters, whatever it is, you have to write the unit. Okay? Don't forget to write the units. Write the answer at the end properly. The required numbers are 3, 5 and 7, something like that. Okay? Let us take the second example. In a garden, there are some rows and columns. the number of trees in the rows is greater than that in each column by 10. Let us, the number of tree in column is equal to x. So what will be the number of tree in the row? X plus 10. Okay. Further, find the number of trees in each row if the total number of trees is 200. Now we know how many trees are in each column. We know how many trees are there in each row. Total number of trees, x into x plus 10 is equal to 200. Multiplication. You will get the value of x. Pause your video here and solve this. You will get the value of x minus 20 or 10. Of course, trees cannot be negative. So, the number of trees in each column are 10 and each row are 20. Mind well, they are asked the find the number of trees in each row. They are not asked for columns, and you have considered x is column. So these are the trees in the column. You have to write the answer. Trees in each row is x plus 10, so 10 plus 10 is 20. Only 20 is not a right answer. You have to write 20 trees, or you have to clearly write number of trees in each row are 20. Okay, let's see further. Third one, one diagonal of a rhombus. Stop, draw the rhombus even if it is not required, because in some kind of examples it may be complicated. So let us draw the rhombus first. They say that one diagonal of a rhombus is greater than other by 4 centimeter. So there are two diagonals, d1, d2. If d1 is equal to x, d2 will be x plus 4. Right? They further say that if the area of rhombus is 96, area is 96 centimeter square. Find a side of rhombus. Find a side of rhombus. Now in this case they are not asked find the diagonals of the rhombus. We know that area of rhombus is half d1 d2. So we get x into x plus 4 is equal to 96. Pause your video here and solve for the value of x. So you get the answer of x minus 16 or 12. Of course, the length cannot be negative. So x is 12. Now we can mark here. One diagonal is 12 and another diagonal is 16. Let us see that A, B, C, D and M. So BD is 16, AC is 12. So we have one important property of rhombus we have to remember. The diagonals of the rhombus are perpendicular bisectors of each other. Right? So if BD is 16, this must be 8, 8. If this is 12, this must be 6 and 6. You have to find out the sides of the rhombus. Opposite sides are equal, of course. Now this is very simple. This is right angle. So these all four triangles are right angle triangles. And by the Pythagoras theorem, you can easily find out the DC and BC. AD and AB will be same, like DC equal to AB, BC equal to AD. Pause your video here, use Pythagoras theorem for this triangle, find out the value of DC, then use these two values and find out the value of BC. Do it now, pause your video. The answer is sides of the rhombus are 10 centimeter. Centimeter is important. Again, I am reminding you again and again. So the answer is this. Let us go ahead. Fourth, divide 40 into two parts such that the sum of their reciprocals, sum of their reciprocals, I have to divide 40 into two parts. So suppose one part is x, what is the other part? 40 minus x. So what is the sum of the reciprocal? What are the reciprocals? 1 upon x plus 1 upon 40 minus x. The sum of the reciprocals is 8 upon 75, which is given. So we have to find out the two parts. Solve this equation, cross multiplication first, you will get a quadratic equation. Solve that and you will get the value of x. Once you get the value of x, you will get the one part, 40 minus x is another part. Pause your video here and solve this for finding the value of x. Answer is, required number are 15 and 25. Please check your answer. And we'll go ahead. Fifth sum. आता हे गणित थोडंसं ट्रिकी आहे आणि मुलं जेव्हा म्हणतात, स्टुडंट्स जेव्हा म्हणतात की वर्ड प्रॉब्लेम खूप टफ असतात, त्याचं कारण अशा प्रकारचे प्रॉब्लेम आहेत. नाउ द प्रॉब्लेम इज नॉट डिफिकल्ट. You should understand this properly. You see, first we'll read the problem. A man riding a bicycle covers a distance of 60 kilometers. Okay? I told you last time also, we will draw the figure. Okay? From point A to point B, distance is 60 kilometers. Okay? Now, a man riding a bicycle covers a distance of 60 kilometers in the direction of wind and comes back to his original position in 8 hours. Total time taken is 8 hours. Now what he does? तो काय करतोय? तो एकदा विंडच्या डायरेक्शनला जातोय आणि परत येतोय तिकडनं. बरोबर? पुढे त्याने दिलंय, if the speed of wind is 10 kilometers per hour, find the speed of bicycle. Wind 10 kilometers per hour. आता हा प्रॉब्लेम वेगवेगळ्या पद्धतीने येऊ शकतो. पहिलं, wind and bicycle. He is traveling in the direction of wind and against the wind. दूसरा प्रॉब्लेम येऊ शकतो, शिप इन द रिव्हर. इट इज गोइंग अलॉंग विथ द फ्लो ऑफ रिव्हर, इट इज कमिंग रिव्हर्स डायरेक्शन. अजून कसा येऊ शकतो हा प्रॉब्लेम? चढणीवर येऊ शकतो, उतारावर येऊ शकतो. सो इफ द स्पीड ऑफ द बायसिकल इज bicycle speed is x kilometers per hour for zero wind or no wind. Okay, bicycle of the speed of the bicycle is x kilometers per hour when there is no wind. So when he is riding the bicycle in the direction of wind, wind direction, what will be the speed? X plus 10. Why? because wind will push him, and if his bicycle speed is x, the wind speed 10 kilometers per hour is pushing him, so his speed will become x plus 10. But when it comes opposite direction, against the wind he is traveling, against the wind he is riding his bicycle, then speed opposite to wind is x minus 10, both kilometers per hour, right? Now he is traveling, total distance is 60 kilometers, total time is 8 hours. So what is this kilometer per hour? Speed. Distance upon time. Everybody knows this, very simple. So we know that the total is 8 hours. So time taken for both the journeys is time is equal to distance upon स्पीड. बरोबर. मग विंडच्या डिरेक्शन मध्ये दिस इज द स्पीड आणि डिस्टन्स किती होता 60 किलोमीटर्स. विंडच्या ऑपोजिट डिरेक्शन मध्ये हा स्पीड होता आणि डिस्टन्स होतं 60 किलोमीटर्स. सो द टाइम टेकन इज डिस्टन्स अपॉन स्पीड, that is 60 upon x plus 10. This is in the direction of wind, and 60 upon x minus 10 opposite the direction of wind, and total time means addition is 8. Careful while solving these kind of examples. Don't worry about it, it is very simple. Once you draw a figure and write down everything systematically, there will be no problem. Now these kind of examples you already solved. So pause your video here and find out the value of x now. Answer is x equal to 20 and minus 5. As you know that the speed of the cycle cannot be negative, so this is out of question. So 20 is the answer. You have to write the answer properly. The speed of the bicycle is 20 kilometers per hour. If you write only 20, that is wrong. You have to write down speed is 20 kilometers per hour. Let us move ahead. 6. The sum of 4 times a number and 3 times its reciprocal. Sum of 4 times a number, if number is x, 4 times a number is 4x, and 3 times is its reciprocal. 3 times its reciprocal. This is the x is the number, 1 upon x is the reciprocal. Sum of these two is 7. Find that number. Pause your video here. I am not going to even discuss this problem. Pause your video, solve this. The answer is x equal to 1 or 3 upon 4. Let us go ahead. Problem number 7. Now this is again a typical example. Let us read the example first. For doing some work, Ganesh takes 10 days more than John. If both work together, they complete the work in 12 days. Find the number of days if Ganesh works alone. Now Ganesh and John, two different fellows are there. So let us solve this example like this. So John takes x days, so Ganesh takes x plus 10 days as given, because they are given. Ganesh takes 10 days more than John. Now in one day, now the second part, in one day John complete 1 upon x work and complete 1 upon x plus 10. If they both work together, in one day 1 upon x plus x plus 10 will simplify it, cross multiplication, that is x plus 10 plus x upon x square plus 10x. If together in one day they do this much part of the work. Okay, the given condition, if they work together, they complete the work in 12 days. So how many days can you see here? If we work x, then in one day they do this much work, reverse. So now in 12 days how many work will be done? Again we'll reverse. So here we'll get x square plus 10x upon 2x plus 10 is equal to 12. Because when you reverse it, that is the number of days. And we know that the number of days is 12. Right? So for together, in one day they do this much part, reverse it, that is the number of days, and we know that the number of days is 12. Now you solve this equation and you will get the value of x. So pause your video here and solve it. Answer is x equal to minus 6 or 20. You know that this is not possible, negative is not possible. So x is equal to 20. But mind well, x is John, and what we have been asked, find the number of days if Ganesh works alone. If John works alone, he will take 20 days. But if Ganesh works alone, x plus 10, that is 30 days. Remember, you have to read carefully what is asked, because sometime it may possible. Suppose if I consider Ganesh x and John, then it will be x minus 10. So if you take in reverse order, some answers will be different. You will get a directly x. But here I have considered John x, but I have to find Ganesh. So then you have to keep in mind and apply in this formula and find out the final answer. And final answer should be very, very clear that Ganesh takes 30 days to complete the work. Let us move ahead and solve next example. A natural number is greater than 3 times its square root by 4. A natural number x is equal to 3 times its square root, 3 times its square root plus 4. Find a number. Very simple. Just solve it. How will you do this? So I'll transfer this 4 here. I'll get x minus 4 is equal to 3 root x. Squaring both the sides, you will get the value of x. Pause your video here and solve this and find the value of x. X is 1 and 16. 1 is natural, but it is not possible. Why? Because square root of 1 is also 1. It cannot exceed by 4. Right? So 16 is the answer. So write down the answer. The required number is 16. 1 is not possible. We'll go ahead. 9th. The sum of the areas of 2 square is 400 meters square. Wait, now they are given 2 squares. Let us draw 2 squares. For the square, we have side, we have perimeter, and we have area. Sum of the area, if this is 1, this is 2, area 1 plus area 2 is equal to 400 meters square. This is the first condition they have given. If the difference between their perimeter is 16 meters, if this is x, what is the side is x, what is the perimeter? 4x. What is the area? X square. If the difference between their perimeter is 16, if this smaller perimeter is 4x, then larger perimeter is 4x plus 16, right? And if the perimeter is 4x plus 16 of the square, you know, square, all the sides are equal, perimeter. If perimeter is given, you can easily find out the sides. That is, side is 4x plus 16 divided by 4. And area will be equal to 4x plus 16 divided by 4 square. As per the given condition, area of this smaller one and larger one is 400. So this plus this is equal to 400. Solve this, find a value of x. Pause your video here. X is equal to minus 16 or 12. Of course, side cannot be negative, so answer is 12 centimeters. So the side of smaller is 12 and this is equal to 16. Mind well, sorry, here this is not centimeters, this is meters, because we have area in meters. So here also 12 meters, 16 meters. Write down the answer properly. The side of the smaller square is 12 meters, side of the bigger square is 16 meters. Let us go to next example. 10th sum. Previously we have seen the three numbers. Now it is the product of four consecutive positive integers. Four consecutive positive integers is 840. Four positive integers are x, x plus 1, x plus 2, x plus 3. And they say that the product is 840 is equal to 840. All multiplication. Very simple. Solve this and find the value of x. Pause your video now. How you solve this? Some of you might have directly solved x into this, then this product into this, then this product into this, right? Instead, you can go in this way. First take first and third. So x square plus 3x, and then these two brackets into x square plus 3x plus 2 equal to 840. If you go on multiplying all four together and find the equation will be very long. Instead, do this trick. First and third multiplication, first and fourth multiplication, then second and third multiplication. Now you have this is common. Substitute m. M is equal to x square plus 3x and solve this equation. Pause your video now. We have solved so many examples of this type. Pause and find the value of x. X equal to minus 7 and 4. Minus 7 is not a positive integer. 4 is the positive integer. So the numbers required are 4, 5, 6, 7. Let us go ahead. Eleventh, exterior angle of a regular polygon having n sides is more than that of the polygon having n square sides by 50. Now whenever such kinds of examples are there, solve step by step. Let us solve it. The exterior angle of regular polygon. What is the exterior angle of regular polygon? If the sides are n, then exterior angle is equal to 360 by n. And what is the, if the side is n square, it is 360 by n square. But difference between these is 50. That is, with the side n is more than that of n square by 50 degrees. So this minus this is equal to 50. This is our required equation. Solve this equation and you will get the value of n, number of sides. What is asked? Find the number of sides of each polygon. Pause your video and solve this equation to find out the value of n. N is equal to 6 and 6 by 5. Of course, fraction is not possible. So, n equal to 6. That is, the first polygon will have number of sides 6 and n square is equal to 36. These are the answers. Let us go ahead. 12th sum is similar to that of John and Ganesh. Only the people are changed here now. Tinu takes 9 days more than his father to do a certain piece of work. Father completes the work in X days. Tinu takes 9 days more. So Tinu completes the works in X plus 9. Second step was in 1 day. Father was doing 1 upon X and Tinu was doing 1 upon X plus 9. So if they work together, that will be 1 upon X plus 1 upon X plus 9. We have to solve this first. That is X plus 9 plus X upon X square plus 9X means 2X plus 9 upon X square plus 9X. If together they work. What they said further? Together they can work. If they work together, they can do the work in 6 days. This is of 1 day. We want number of days. So reverse it. So X square plus 9X upon 2X plus 9 is equal to 6. Solve this and you will get the answer. Pause your video now and solve this. X is 9 and minus 6. The answer. Of course, number of days 6 is not possible. Negative number is not possible. So X is equal to 9 is the right answer. What is X is equal to 9? Days taken by the father. So this is the days taken by father is 9. So by Tinu is days. 18 days. Check what they are asked as an answer. Number of days of father or number of days of Tinu. Okay? And accordingly you have to write the answer. Even if you write both these figures, but write the proper statements, that is fine. Anything extra is okay. But if you miss what is been asked, if the Tinu's number of days are asked and if you write the answer as father's number of day, even your complete sum is right, and suppose this is of 5 marks, your at least 1 mark is gone, minimum, because you are, as a statement you have written the wrong answer. हां, आता कोणी खूपच दयाळू एक्झामिनर किंवा पेपर चेकर असेल तो कदाचित दया दाखवून तुम्हाला देईल सुद्धा. But why to take risk? Isn't it? So read the examples very carefully, okay? Rather, I will suggest that whenever you are writing the givens, you write what is to be found out, what is asked. Find so and so. So then you don't have to again turn to question paper and read what is asked, what is been asked. No, everything is there on your answer sheet. So along with given, you write to find. That is also you write. Okay? Next. 13. Now here they are asked the sum of squares of 5 consecutive natural numbers. 5 numbers. Now, how you will take the numbers? 5 numbers are there. Initially there were 4 numbers. When even numbers are there, you take next numbers. But here are 5 numbers are there. How will you take? I will take x plus 1, x plus 2. I will take x minus 1 and x minus 2. Whenever the number you have to take odd numbers, you have to take like this. Now, what they are asked? Sum of the squares of and sum is 1455. I will not solve this. You have to solve this. Okay? Solve this, find a value of x. Pause your video now. X is equal to 17. So what are the numbers? 17, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. These are the numbers. Let us go ahead. 14. The side of one regular hexagon is larger than that of the other regular hexagon by 1 centimeter. Now they are asked some figure. Let us draw the hexagon. This is the first hexagon. This is the second hexagon. The side of the one regular hexagon is larger than the other. If this is x, larger than the other by 1 centimeter, this will be x plus 1. What is the area of hexagon? Area of regular hexagon is 3 root 3 by 2 into side square. So what will be the area of this hexagon? This is the side. So 3 root 3 by 2 into x plus 1 square. What they say? If the product of numbers denoting their areas is 243, multiply 243. Pause your video, solve this equation, and you will get the value of x, that is the side of the smaller one. From that, find the side of the larger one. Pause your video now. X is 2, so this is 3. Now in the example they have not stated, yeah, they are given centimeters, so your answer should also be centimeters. Now while solving this, the first you have to do some substitution methods. Again I am reminding you, it is not necessary that you should solve each and every quadratic equation by a particular method. if it is not asked. So you can use factorization method, you can use formula method, you can use completing the square method, any method which you like you can use and find the answer if it is not specified. Okay, let's go ahead. Whenever such examples are there where hexagon, rectangle, some garden, something is there, it is always better to draw the figures. Even if it is very simple, that is the length and breadth of rectangle, still you draw a figure. Even if you are sure that you can solve those examples orally, you draw the figure. This is a very good habit of drawing figure. So whenever the complicated examples comes, it will be easier for you. So I'll suggest always draw figures. Let's go ahead. Let us solve 15th. Now again the example of ages and little bit complicated, not difficult but little bit complicated example. Let us read the example first. 2 years ago my age was 4.5 times the age of my son. 6 years ago my age was twice the square of age of my son. What is the present age of my son? Now, as we are going to read, we are going to write the equations. 2 years ago, my age was 4.5 times the age of my son. This was 2 years ago. So, what is the present age of my son? Son today is X. Right? So 2 years ago, what will be his age? So 2 years ago, my son age was X minus 2. Now the first condition is given, 2 years ago, my age was 4.5 times the age of my son. So what is my age 2 years ago? 4.5 times 4.5 times the age of my son. This is nothing but 9 by 2 X minus 2. This was 2 years ago. Further they said 6 years ago. Now if 2 years ago my age is this is son's today's age is my today's age. If 2 years ago it was this, so today's age is 9x minus 2 upon 2 plus 2, because this was 2 years ago. So now I found out my son's today's age is X, my today's age is this. Further they said 6 years ago. Now 6 years ago, what was my son's age 6 years ago? Son is X minus 6. What is my age? My age 6 years ago is 9x minus 2 upon 2 plus 2 minus 6. Right? Now I say that my son's age was the twice. Now 6 years ago my age 9x minus 2 upon 2 plus 2 minus 6, 4. My age was twice the square of age of my son. Twice the square of age of my son. This was 6 years ago. Okay? Of course, what we have to find out, what is the present age of my son? Pause your video here, solve this and find the value of x. Pause your video now. X is equal to 10 or 17 by 4, that is 4 and half. Now this is not negative number, but जर का आपण 4.5 घेतलं तर 6 वर्षापूर्वी त्याचा जन्म पण झाला नव्हता आणि म्हणून या दोन व्हॅल्यू पैकी 4.5 इज नॉट पॉसिबल. त्याचं आजचं वय 4.5 असणं शक्यच नाही, नाहीतर मग 6 वर्षापूर्वी त्याचा जन्म कुठे झाला होता. आणि म्हणून x इक्वल टू 10. सो age of my son today is 10 years. Don't forget the unit. Okay, example is not difficult, but many students stuck up at this kind of examples. But mind well, if you solve this kind of examples step by step systematically, you can easily solve these examples. या प्रकारचे एक्झाम्पल सोडवताना सगळ्यात मोठा प्रॉब्लेम हा असतो की स्टुडंट्स संपूर्ण गणित एकदम वाचतात आणि मग ते विचार करतात काय असेल, कॉम्प्लेक्स आहे, कॉम्प्लिकेटेड आहे, हे काय येणारच नाही आपल्याला. ते आधीच सांगतात हे काय मला येत नाही, हे मला येणार नाही. इन्स्टेड अख्खं गणित परत एकदा पूर्ण वाचायच्या ऐवजी तुम्ही जर का स्टेप बाय स्टेप करत गेलात दिलेल्या माहितीनुसार, आजचं एज हे आहे, मग 2 वर्षापूर्वी काय होतं, मग 6 वर्षापूर्वी काय होतं, आणि मग कंडिशन्स दिलेल्या असतात. म्हणून या स्टेप्स इम्पॉर्टंट आहेत. एकदम ते गणित तुम्ही जर का हवेमध्ये जर का इक्वेशन्स मांडायला लागलात तर ही गणितं कधीच सॉल्व करता येणार नाहीत. कारण त्याच्यामध्ये ही जी कॅल्क्युलेशन्स आहेत, शेवटची जी कॅल्क्युलेशन्स करायची आहेत क्वाड्रॅटिक इक्वेशन घेऊन, ती कॉम्प्लिकेटेड आहेत. त्यामुळे या प्रकारची गणितं करताना स्टेप बाय स्टेप जा. फर्स्ट स्टेप, सेकंड स्टेप, थर्ड स्टेप. त्यांनी जर का 2 वर्षापूर्वी दिलं असेल तर 2 वर्षापूर्वी आधी काढा काय ते, मग 6 वर्षापूर्वीचं काढा आणि मग कंडिशन इक्वेट करा आणि फायनल आन्सर काढा. कोणतंही गणित बघितल्यानंतर एकदम म्हणायचं नाही की नाही हे मला येणारच नाही, नाही हे कॉम्प्लिकेटेड आहे. आपल्याला असं वाटत असतं की हे आपल्याला येणार नाही, पण स्टेप बाय स्टेप सोडवत गेलं, पुढचं बघायचंच नाही आधी, जसं येईल तसं सोडवत जायचं. एक्झाम्पल सोपी असतात एकदम. 4 ते 5 मार्काला हे गणित असतं आणि खूप इझी आहे ते. लेट अस सी द नेक्स्ट एक्झाम्पल. 16. The difference between two positive integers is 2. So the first integer is x, the difference is 2, the second is x minus 2. The difference between their cubes is 56. Difference between their cubes, x cube minus x minus 2 cube is 56. Find the numbers. I am not going to solve this. Very simple. You have to solve it by yourself. Pause your video and solve it now. X equal to minus 2 or 4. We want positive integers, so this is not possible. So x equal to 2, x equal to 4 is the answer. Example 17. Again the example of car, and then as 18 example of train. Both the examples are similar. Okay, we already seen the example of bicycle. Let us see this example of car. First read the example. A car covers a distance of 240 kilometers with some speed. Now stop here. As I told you की ह्या प्रकारची गणितं सोडवताना आपण डायग्राम काढायचाच. सो डिस्टन्स A to B 240 kilometers. Okay, if the speed is increased by 20 kilometers per hour, if it is increased, पण आत्ता आहे का नाही, मग आत्ता कारचा युजुअल स्पीड काय आहे, is equal to x. then how much time it will take to cover 240 kilometers? (240 by x). Now, if the speed is increased from x to increased by 20 kilometers, that if the new speed is x plus 20, then how much time it will take? 240 upon x plus 20, right? But what they say, it will cover the same distance in 2 hours less. Speed is increased, so time is less. So here 240 upon x minus 240 upon x plus 20 is equal to 2. Isn't it? Because they said that if the speed is increased by 20 kilometers per hour, it will cover the same distance in 2 hours less. Find the usual speed of car. That is, we have to find x. Pause your video, solve this. Find the value of x. X is minus 60 and 40. Minus 60 or 40. Of course, this is not possible. Minus is not possible. So, the speed of car is 40 kilometers per hour. Kilometers per hour. Write down that properly. Let us go ahead. Next, similar example, instead of car there is a train. Example 18. Read the example. I hope I am not writing the example on the board. I hope that you have your notebook and your textbook with you, in front of you. Okay, let us go ahead. An express train takes 30 minutes less for a journey of 450 kilometers if its usual speed is increased by 8 kilometers per hour. Very easy. Train goes from point A to point B. The distance of it covers is 440 kilometers. Speed. If the usual speed is x, the time it takes 440 upon x. If the usual speed is increased by 8, if it is x plus 8, then the time taken will be 440 upon x plus 8. And they say that it takes 30 minutes less. If speed is increased, the time is less. So our equation becomes 30, right? So when you solve, you will get the value of x, you will find the answer, speed of train, and that answer is wrong. I am telling you here itself. Why? Because everywhere the speed etc. are given in kilometers. This is given, this speed increased is done in kilometers per hour, and here you have taken 30 minutes. This is not allowed. The unit must be in the same system. If your speed is increased in kilometers per hour, how the difference can be in minutes? That is not possible. So you have to convert this 30 minutes into hours, because the difference is in hours. So either you write 30 by 60, or you know that this is 0.5 or 1 by 2. 0.5 don't take, because the sum will unnecessarily get complicated. So this is 1 by 2. Now you solve the example. 440 upon x minus 440 upon x plus 8 is equal to 1 by 2. And now your answer x. Find out the answer. Pause your video and solve this. Answer is 80 and minus 88. Of course, minus 88 is out of question. So answer is 80 kilometers per hour, usual speed of train. Again I am telling you, don't make such mistake. Deliberately they are given in minutes, whereas everything are in hours. So you have to convert those minutes into hours. Only then you can write down your figure here. Okay? Next. Example 19. The divisor and quotient of the number 6123 are same and remainder is half the divisor. Find the divisor. First of all, this is confusing only because you know how to do divisions, but you don't know, you cannot write the equation, or you cannot write the one equation in the form of divisor, dividend, quotient, remainder. Just write it down. Dividend equal to divisor into quotient plus remainder. Now if you know this, we'll read it again. Divisor and quotient of the number are same. The number is 6123. So 6123. Then the divisor and quotient are same. Let us say x into x. And the remainder is half of divisor, x upon 2. Very simple now. 6123 is equal to x square plus x by 2. Find the value of x. Simple. Pause the video now and find the value of x. X is equal to, answer is 78 or 157 by 2 minus 157 by 2, where this is not possible. So the divisor is 78. Simple. This हे जे सूत्र आहे हे तुम्ही भागाकार करताना दुसरीच शिकलाय in second standard. But I am 100% sure, or I have seen the papers where minimum 50% of the students could not write this equation. We know how to do division. भागाकार कसा करायचा माहिती आहे. आन्सर्स काढता येतात, पण हे लिहिता येत नाही. का? कारण ते ऑब्वियस आहे ना, मग ते कशाला लक्षात ठेवायचं. राईट? So better write this in your short notes, because you may get this question in your exams. Okay? Let's go ahead. Let us solve example 28. First read the example. From the same place at 7 a.m., A started walking in the north at a speed of 5 kilometers per hour. After 1 hour, B started from the same place, but he is cycling in the east at the speed of 16 kilometers per hour. At what time will they be at a distance of 52 kilometers apart from each other? Let us solve this example by drawing figure. Both of them starting from the same point. A is going to north and B is going to east. A is going here and B is going here. After what time? Let us say that at what time will they be at a distance of 52 kilometers away from each other or apart from each other. That means if they stop here, this distance should be 52 kilometers. Speed of A is 5 kilometers per hour and speed of B is 16 kilometers per hour. Okay, so A will cover, we have considered X is the time, so A will cover 5x. Let me write again. So A will cover 5x. B is starting 1 hour later, right? After 1 hour B started cycling. So the time taken by B is 1 hour less. So distance covered by B will be 16 into x minus 1. Right? Now as he is going north and he is going east, this is a right angle triangle. And by Pythagoras theorem, you can write 52 square is equal to 5x square this is by Pythagoras theorem. Pause your video here, solve this and you will get the value of x. Pause your video now, find the value of x. X is equal to 4 or x is equal to minus 612. This is very odd numbers. 612 by 281. No use. This cannot be negative. Right? So our answer is 4. Write down the answer perfectly. Answer is 4. Many of you will write this. Hours. Right? But what is asked? Let us check it again. At what time they will be at a distance of 50? At what time? They are asked time. Initially they said that from the same place they started at 7 a.m. Started at 7 a.m. They reach, they are apart 52 kilometers after 4 hours. So 4 hours is equal to 11 a.m. So you should write the answer, they will reach at 11 a.m. because they are asked in that specific way at what time they will be. So at 11 a.m. If you write x equal to 4 and leave the problem here, this problem is wrong. The answer is wrong. If the problem is of 4 or 5 marks, you will get 1 mark for steps because you are not completed the problem, right? So these kind of tricky questions are always asked in exams. That is why always write what is given and what is to find out. Don't again and again see the question paper. In your answer sheet while solving your sum, you should have everything there. No referring to question paper again and again and again. Okay? Let us go ahead. Let us do the example 21. This is similar example to that of the trains, bicycle, boats, etc. But the style is different. Let us read the example first. One tank can be filled up by 2 taps in 6 hours. The smaller tap alone takes 5 hours more than the bigger tap alone. Find the time required by each tap to fill the tank separately. Now I told you in this case we should always draw the diagram. So how will I draw the tap? This is the smaller tap. Don't laugh at my drawing. This is the bigger tap. What they are asked? Find the time required by each tap to fill up the tank separately. Let the bigger tap takes x hours A smaller tab alone, so the smaller tab takes x plus 5 hours. Right? Let us read it again and further. One tank can be filled up by 2 taps in 6 hours. So in 1 hour, smaller tank fills x plus 5 and bigger tank fills 1 upon x. Right? If both tanks are together, then the tank will be filled in 6 hours. So in 1 hour, how much the tank will be filled? 1 upon 6. If both the tanks are working together, it will be like this. Isn't it? Very simple. Solve this and you will find a value of x, time taken alone for the bigger tab. Pause your video here and solve it. Answer is x equal to 10 or minus 3, whereas minus 3 time cannot be negative. So x equal to 10 hours. So here the bigger tab takes 10 hours and smaller tab x plus 5 is 15 hours. The example is very easy, just like your other car, boat, cycle examples. I'll explain again. First I draw smaller and bigger tabs. When you draw figures, the example becomes simple. If this is in x hours, this is x plus 5 hours because they are given alone. It takes 5 hours more. So in 1 hour, how much it works? 1 upon x. In 1 hour, how much tank is filled? 1 upon x plus 5. But together if they fill addition, it will take 6 hours. So in 1 hour, how much part is there? This much. Solve it, you will get the answer. Let us go ahead. Now this is the last example. 22. Let us read the example first. Around a square pool, wait, it is asking some figures. तर आधी फिगर काढूया. एक स्क्वेअर पूल आहे. This is the square pool. Around a square pool there is a footpath of width 2 meters. Then we have to draw the footpath. This is the footpath. Okay. What they say further? Okay, the footpath is 2 meters. So if side of pool is x, if the side of pool is x, this will be, here it is 2 meters, this side it is 2 meters, so x plus 4, right? If the area of footpath is 5 upon 4 times of pool, area of footpath is 5 upon 4 times area of pool. Find the area of the pool. Now this is footpath. Now this is footpath and this is pool. What is the side and area? Pool side is x, area is x square. Footpath side is x plus 4, but area of footpath is total this area minus pool area. That is the footpath area, right? That means x plus 4 x plus 4, this will be the total side, square, x plus 4 square minus pool area minus x square, right? Fill this in the equation. Area of footpath, x plus 4 square minus x square is equal to 5 by 4 x square. Solve this and you will get the value of x, that is side of the pool. Alternately, we have to find the area of pool. Pause your video and find the x. Answer is x is equal to 8 or minus 8 upon 5. Of course, this is not possible. Negative is not possible. So x is 8. What is asked? Area of pool. For pool side is x, 8, area is x square. So pool area is 64. Let us see if they are given some units. 2 meters they are given. Everywhere they are given meters. So this side will be 8 meters and 64 meters square. Area of pool is 64 meters square. Okay. Be careful what they are asked. So in this way, we have finished the chapter quadratic equation. We have finished the chapter quadratic equation. We have solved, we have first step by step learned all the methods. Then on each method we solved the examples, exercises from the textbook. Now quadratic equation is the lengthiest chapter of the algebra than other chapters. There are total 6 chapters. We have completed the lengthiest chapter. The other chapters are comparatively of shorter length. Now what is your job here? Now what you will do now? First of all, remember you have to solve all the exercises by yourself. We have discussed the question sets, we have discussed some exercises, but you have to solve those exercises by yourself at home. Never use the digest or ready-made solutions for solving such examples. Textbook example should never be solved by referring solved examples, digest or key or something like that. Never. Another thing, now we have completed the chapter 2. If you are going by chapter 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 like that, or in any order, you can complete the chapters in any order, but it is always better before starting. If you have gone through my orientation lectures, so before starting, be sure that your random book is complete. Okay? At least, if you are not started right now, at least till you finish your algebra portion, your random book must be complete. Because once the full portion is finished, we are going to revise, we are going to learn only and only from random book. We are not even going to open our textbook or whatever your homework book or something. If in case you stuck up somewhere, only then you have to refer your homework book. So now we have finished the quadratic equations. The next chapter we will see will be the linear equations in 2 variables.